And we are continuing with our topic of morphology and physiology of bacteria. In this, we have already discussed classification, types of microscopes, different staining methods, various shapes of bacteria, and bacterial anatomy in detail. In our previous videos, you can check those videos because so many exam questions can come from these topics. And today is our last video on this topic where we are going to discuss growth and multiplication of bacteria, from where you can get a long question on bacterial growth curve. So let's start. Before starting, quickly subscribe to Dentozen and tap on the like button, hit the bell icon so that you remain notified about new videos. Now, what is rate of multiplication in bacteria? That is rate at which bacteria divide. But what is division? How do bacteria divide? They divide by a process which is known as binary fission. Important term. So you may be asked how bacteria divide by binary fission. Bi means two, fission means split. So when bacteria divide, first there can be division of nucleus, then there can be division of cytoplasm like this, and they will form two bacterial cells. So bi means two. So that is called binary fission. And here comes important term, that is population doubling time. As the word says, time required for population to double itself, that is from one bacterium to form two bacterium to double itself, that time is called population doubling time or generation time. So it can be described as time required for a bacterium to give rise to two daughter cells under optimum conditions, when all the conditions are favorable. Or it can also be defined as the time between two cell divisions. So this generation time for Escherichia coli and most pathogenic bacteria is 20 minutes. That can be your important Viva entrance questions. You may be asked, how much is generation time for E. coli? It is 20 minutes. And it is 20 hours for Mycobacterium tuberculosis and 20 days for Mycobacterium leprae. So all these can be your important Viva and entrance questions. Now, what is bacterial count? When we are growing bacteria, then we can also count their number. So this number can be counted in two ways. For example, if we are growing bacteria in the culture, we can take total count. Total means total number of bacteria, living and dead both are counted, and this can be done by under the microscope using counting chamber. Then other count that can be taken is just for the living bacteria, viable bacteria, that is called viable count. So we count number of living or viable cells in the given specimen. This can be done by dilution or plating techniques. So those are the two types of counts, total count and viable count, that can be done for bacteria when we grow them in the culture. And when we grow them, then the growth of the bacteria follows a curve, follows a course, that is a curve, and that is called bacterial growth curve. And that can be your important long question. So let's understand, let's introduce. So first is, when a bacterium is seeded into a suitable liquid culture medium, when it is brought into a liquid culture medium and it is incubated, its growth will follow a course. And that course, if it is taken, that is if we take the count total number of bacteria, and if we see how it is rising with time, then the curve that is obtained is called bacterial growth curve. So what is bacterial growth curve? It is a graph, it is a curve which is plotted on a graph where we take bacterial count and we take it against the time. So how many bacteria are there as the time is increasing. So let's see what is the shape of this curve. This curve would be like this. So this curve is not a straight curve. As you can see, this curve has four phases. So what are those four phases? The first phase is the lag phase. Lag phase, when bacteria are not increasing in their number. So when we have just placed the bacteria inside the medium, so they will just increase in their size. So their size is increasing, but there is no division. So there is no division. So this is lag phase. That is the first phase. And once they have achieved their maximum size, now they will start to divide and their number will start to increase. And then that will be the log phase, when they are increasing exponentially. Their number is rapidly increasing. So that is the second phase or log phase. After that, bacteria are growing, they are using nutrients. So nutrients will start to deplete. So cells will start to die. So a time comes when the number of living cells become equal to number of dying cells. So number of living bacteria remains same. So that phase is called stationary phase. That is the third phase, stationary. As you can see, it is a straight line. So there is no increase in the number of bacteria. It remains the same. So then finally, when all the nutrients have exhausted and there can be no more cell division, then cells start to dying completely. And that is the phase of decline. That is the fourth phase. So we can say that our bacterial growth curve is the curve which is plotted in a graph with one side we have number of cells, on one side we have time. And when we see this curve, it has four phases. The first phase is the lag phase, the second is log, stationary, and phase of decline. Four phases. And this is for viable count. That is when we are just seeing the living bacteria. And if we want to take the total count, both living and dead bacteria, so the curve will be same phases, but it will be like total number will be more. So as you can see here, so this blue one is total count and pink curve is for the viable count. So that is the bacterial growth curve. That is, you can describe what it is, and then the 4 phases. Now let's talk about each phase in detail. First is the lag phase, as the word says lag. So there is a lag. So why there is a lag? Because we have just put the bacteria into a new medium. So they need some time to adjust. So this is the time that they require between the inoculation, when we have just seeded the bacteria, and when they start dividing, multiplication. So in between those two things, the time that is taken is called the lag phase. So here, what are bacteria doing? They are increasing in size. They are becoming fat, using nutrients by accumulation of enzymes and metabolites. So this is the time that bacteria take to adapt to the new environment. So what is happening here? So here the size of the bacterium is increasing. That means at the end of this phase, the bacteria will have their maximum size. That can be an important entrance question, that in which phase bacteria attain maximum size. That is at the end of lag phase. And once they have achieved maximum size, what will happen? They will start to divide, and that will be when the log phase will start. So that is the second phase, log phase or exponential phase. When the bacteria start dividing, their numbers start increasing rapidly, exponentially, and the progression that they show is called geometric progression. That can be important by our entrance question. What type of progression is shown by bacterial growth? That is geometric progression. So what type of curve it is here? It is a straight line growing upwards, as you can see here. So that is the second phase, log phase. Now important things that you have to remember, that can be your entrance viva question. In this phase, as bacteria are dividing, so their size will be small. So their size is smaller in size. They are biochemically active, and they are uniformly stained, and they are rapidly growing. So those are the important points. Now comes the stationary phase. When they use so many nutrients, what will happen? Cell division will stop as the nutrients deplete and toxic products accumulate. So number of living cells remains stationary. That is, it is stationary. Why? Because an equilibrium is achieved between the number of dying cells and newly forming cells. So number of dying cells become equal to number of newly forming cells, because of which the total number of living cells remains same. So there is a straight line, as you can see here, for viable count. But if you will look for total count curve, it is still increasing a bit, because total count will involve both living and dead bacteria. So with the total count keep rising. Now important things that you have to remember here for this phase, bacteria are gram variable. They can show variable gram staining. They can show irregular staining. Why? Because in this phase, because nutrient depletion is there, so bacteria start to form storage granules, as we discussed. So they can form inclusions within the cytoplasm. So we can see S for storage within the stationary phase. Also, because bacteria are under nutrient depletion, they want to protect themselves. So what will they do? They can form spores. So sporulation can occur in the stationary phase. So S for sporulation, S for storage granules, S for stationary. So all these things are happening in the stationary phase. Now they have started dying, so their cell wall can release exotoxins, antibiotics, and bacteriocins. So all these things are happening in stationary phase, and those can be your entrance questions. And finally we come to the fourth phase, that is decline phase, that is death phase. What is happening here? Bacteria stop dividing completely, so population decreases to cell death. Why? Because of the nutritional exhaustion and toxic accumulation. So what will happen here? Involution forms will form, because of these environment toxic accumulation, bacteria will lose their cell wall, and atypical forms of bacteria, that is involution forms, will form here. That can be your entrance question. So those are the 4 phases of bacterial growth curve: lag phase, log phase or exponential phase, then stationary phase, and phase of decline. Now what is bacterial growth requirement? They are 80% water, so they will require water, sources of carbon, nitrogen, and some inorganic salt. So there can be certain factors which can affect the growth of bacteria, which you can add to the bacterial growth curve, or it can be a separate short note. So let's see what are these factors: oxygen, carbon dioxide, temperature, pH, light, osmotic effect, mechanical and sonic stresses, moisture, and desiccation. So all these factors can affect the growth of bacteria. Now let's see each one of these factors. Based on the oxygen requirement, bacteria can be named as obligate aerobes. As the word says obligate, that means necessarily they are aerobic. Aerobic means air. They require oxygen. They cannot live without oxygen. So they can grow only in the presence of oxygen. Example: Pseudomonas, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Bacillus, Brucella, Nocardia. Then they can be facultative anaerobes. Facultative means optional. Anaerobe means no oxygen is required. So usually they are aerobic, but they can also grow in the absence of oxygen. So those are facultative anaerobes. Optionally anaerobic. Example, most of the pathogenic bacteria belong to this group. Example, Escherichia coli, Staphylococcus aureus. Then comes the next term, facultative aerobes. That is, optionally they are aerobic. That means they can grow in the presence of oxygen, but usually they are anaerobic. That is, normally they are growing in absence of oxygen. So they are anaerobes that can also grow aerobically. Example is Lactobacillus. And here comes the term microaerophilic bacteria. Micro means small, aerophilic means referring to oxygen. So bacteria which love small oxygen levels, that is low oxygen tension, 5 to 10% oxygen, are microaerophilic. Example is Campylobacter, Helicobacter and Mycobacterium bovis. Then obligate anaerobes, necessarily anaerobes, they are necessarily growing in the absence of oxygen, or a little amount of oxygen can be lethal to them. So they can grow only in the absence of oxygen. Example is Clostridium. And finally, there is a term which is called aerotolerant anaerobes. Anaerobes, they are grow in the absence of oxygen, but they can tolerate small amount of oxygen. So they tolerate oxygen for some time but do not use it. Example is Clostridium histolyticum. So those can be the types based on their oxygen requirement. Based on carbon dioxide, organisms that require higher amounts of carbon dioxide, 5 to 10%, are called capnophilic bacteria. Philic means loving, capno referring to carbon dioxide. So C for carbon dioxide, C for capno. So those are capnophilic bacteria. So examples are Brucella bovis and Streptococcus pneumoniae. Based on temperature, bacteria which can grow below 20 degrees are called psychrophiles. Most saprophiles, example Pseudomonas, P for Pseudomonas, P for psychrophiles. But most of the pathogenic bacteria are mesophiles. Meso M refers to that they can grow in the moderate temperatures, 25 to 40 degrees Celsius. But then there are certain bacteria which love higher temperatures, thermophiles. They love higher range, that is between 55 to 80 degrees Celsius. Example is Geobacillus stereothermophilus. So they can be psychrophiles, mesophiles, thermophiles based on the temperature. Based on the pH, most pathogenic bacteria grow between pH 7.2 to 7.6, but very few bacteria, example Lactobacillus, grow at pH less than 4. Vibrio cholerae, they alkaline, pH 8.2 to 8.9. Based on the light, bacteria except the phototrophs grow well in darkness. So phototrophs will require light, but all others can grow in darkness. So because they are sensitive to UV rays and other radiations in light. So there is a term which is called photochromogenic bacteria. Photo means light, chromo means color, genic means formation. So bacteria producing pigments can produce colors only on exposure to light. Those are called photochromogenic bacteria. Osmotic effect. Bacteria can withstand wide range of external osmotic variation because of the mechanical strength of their cell wall. The sudden exposure to hypertonic saline may cause cell shrinkage. So when they are placed in hypertonic saline, there can be cell shrinkage, and the term is plasmolysis. Lysis means breakdown of their plasma membrane. So exposure to distilled water may cause cell swelling. They can absorb distilled water and they can rupture, and the term is plasmolysis. So those can be the two terms, plasmolysis and plasmolysis. So what is bacterial metabolism? So it is a process by which a microbe obtains energy and nutrients, example carbon, for its survival and reproduction. So based on this process, that is how they take this energy, what is their source. They can be autotrophs when they generated themselves, heterotrophs which depend on other organisms, chemotrophs which can use inorganic and organic materials, and phototrophs which use light. So that is about the bacterial growth curve, factors affecting and bacterial metabolism. Now let's check what have you learned. So what is the order of phases of bacterial growth curve? You have to pick the right order. Then second question, in which phase there is rapid growth, in which phase there is initial adjustment, in which phase sporulation occurs, and in which phase involution forms are seen. Question number 3, generation time for E. coli is 2 hours, 20 minutes, 20 hours or 2 days. And finally question number 4, factors affecting bacterial growth can be oxygen, temperature, moisture, or all of the above. So that is all for this video. If you really enjoyed the video, do tap on the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to Dentozen, keep watching, keep learning, keep smiling. See you in the next video soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.